Hi, my name is Wayne Farrell, and in this video I want to talk to you about how to use NLP in therapy. Now, NLP is mostly talked about as a therapeutic discipline, and there's way too much to cover in just one short video. But that being said, let's just use a brief overview of how you might use NLP in therapy or life coaching. And whenever you're doing any kind of intervention, I think rapport is going to be really very important. Now, we've covered this before, but of course it's also important to specify outcomes for therapy. The more that you know about the client's presenting problem and their history, the better your intervention is going to be. We teach doing a detailed personal history during the Master Practitioner Timeline Therapy training. This will help you to get enough important history about your client so that you can utilize their past associations and history to assist them in making the kind of changes that they want to make. Of course, as I said, getting into rapport with a client will allow you to work with all sorts of clients, even those who may not even want to be meeting with you in the first place. When using NLP in therapy, rapport will solve a lot of problems. And whilst getting into rapport, it's important to recognize the client's predicates. You can certainly use their predicates to help them understand what you are saying in a way that they need to hear it. You can recognize their lead representational system, which is what they do with their eyes when they're accessing information. You can recognize their preferred representational system, which is how they represent their internal world externally. This will be indicated by the predicates and their physiology, which will give us a lot of information. Swish patterns are very useful with your client when using NLP. You can do all sorts of submodality work with your clients. So swish patterns can be used in the example nail biting and other behaviors that the client wants to change. Swish patterns can be used for minor addictions. For major addictions, of course, we use other interventions, but for minor addictions, a swish pattern is great. Swish patterns can also be used for minor negative emotions. So the swish pattern is very valuable and can be done in a very quick and short period of time. The NLP like to dislike script is useful for somebody to change how they feel about something or someone. And of course, you can also do the dislike to like. Of course, that can be when you get a client who has something on a regular basis that they dislike doing, but really they want to like to learn how to do. The conscious use of language is a great asset, regardless of whether you use NLP in therapy or in business or in education. The ability to use language purposefully in a way which is abstract and to be able to chunk up and chunk down to communicate the right amount of information is very useful. Presuppositions and the ability to presuppose certain things in your language, which when the client accepts those ideas will help them in making changes at the unconscious level without even thinking about it. The conscious use of language is very useful. Metaphors. So tell stories when you can about other clients who had similar problems than those that you might be working with on that particular client, and how those problems just disappeared. Give them suggestions about how those clients came to have some therapy and how surprised they were when those problems changed and disappeared so easily. We'll share more with you on how to create metaphors during the NLP training, and as well as how to do a personal breakthrough session with your clients. Using anchoring, and especially a stacked anchor to create a resource anchor, is very useful. Collapsed anchors and chaining anchors can also be very useful. Chaining anchors is probably the best way to approach a client who suffers from procrastination. Collapsed anchors are useful where you have a minor state that you would like to get rid of. Strategies are great. In couple counseling, I think knowing each other's love strategies can really help save relationships. Strategies in general can be used in many different ways, including people who have shopping problems. What about people who buy too much, or people with a problem with making decisions? You can assist your client by making changes in their strategies to give them more choices and ways to behave. Reframing, of course, is very useful in a therapeutic context. Sometimes clients come to you, and although they will be congruent about seeing you, they may have incongruencies at the unconscious level. They may need some reframing to allow them to be able to make a shift that they would like to make and have it be aligned at the unconscious level. So parts integration is really useful. Again, therapy, business and educational interventions. Parts integration is useful because it reduces the incongruence at the unconscious level. The more congruent your client is, the better off they are. Timeline therapy, of course, is definitely the way to let go of negative emotions and limiting decisions. And many clients have problems with negative emotions and limiting decisions, which you can help them get rid of so easily. You can use the phobia model with clients to help them get rid of their phobias. This can have a major impact on clients that you can help them be free of these negative emotions and things that may have held them back in the past. So that's just a quick overview of how you could use NLP in therapy. For more information, simply contact us today and visit our website at www.coachingwithnlp.co.